If your house caught fire right now, and you could only save what's actually useful or genuinely beautiful, how much of what you see around you would be left behind? That's an uncomfortable question, because it reveals something. A lot of what we keep isn't serving our lives. It's probably just taking up space and draining our peace. When I asked that, your eyes probably drifted over the stacks of paper, the knickknacks on the shelf, or that chair in the corner piled with stuff. And the truth is, everything you keep in your home is teaching you something, even if you don't realize it. William Morris once said, "Have nothing in your houses that you do not know to be useful or believe to be beautiful, because whatever is left in the middle is what's stealing your peace." Today, we're going to use that idea as a filter. It's a simple, minimalist, and elegant rule, born in Western design, but deeply connected to Japanese philosophy, to create a home where your mind can finally rest. The origin and the Japanese connection. The story begins in London in 1851, during an event that would come to symbolize a new era, the Great Exhibition. Held inside the Crystal Palace, it was the first World's Fair in history. Nations from around the globe gathered to showcase their newest inventions and manufactured goods. Thousands of items, all representing the promise of industrial progress. For most visitors, it was a celebration of the future. But for a young man named William Morris, it was something else entirely. Walking through the exhibition halls, he saw objects produced faster than ever before, efficient, affordable, and endlessly replicable. But something was missing. They had been made for speed and profit, not for meaning. It wasn't the machines that troubled him. It was the absence of intention. He understood that when the objects around us are created without care or purpose, our connection to our own environment begins to fade. Our homes become full, but not grounded. This realization shaped the course of his life. But here's the part almost nobody notices. This idea didn't stay stuck in England. It crossed the ocean and found an echo in Japan. In the 1920s, philosopher Yanagi Soetsu fell in love with this way of thinking. He built an entire movement around it, the Mingei movement. The beauty of ordinary craftsmanship made for real life. He argued that true beauty is found in common objects used by common people. A simple teapot, a wooden spoon, a woven basket. Yanagi called this yo-no-be, or beauty through use. Because in Japan, utility and beauty aren't opposites. They're one and the same. A cup is beautiful because it fits your hands and serves tea perfectly. A chair is beautiful because it supports your back firmly. By combining William Morris's rule with the Japanese concept of Mingei, we create a powerful framework for your life. Your home should be a reflection of who you are, not a warehouse for who you used to be. From these ideas, we can draw 3 lessons that go beyond cleaning. They help to decide what actually deserves your time and energy in your life. Lesson 1: The filter and the ethics of care. William Morris's rule, created at the height of the Victorian era, served as a shield against the invasion of pointless objects. Back then, mass production was starting to clutter homes with over-the-top decorations and flimsy tools. By saying to keep only the useful or the beautiful, Morris was proposing a mental sieve. If an object is useful, it serves your body and makes your tasks easier. If it has beauty, it serves your spirit and brings joy to your eyes. Whatever falls through that filter is what Morris called rubbish, regardless of how much you paid for it. This conscious choice introduces a key concept, the ethics of care. When you decide an object has the right to take up space in your life, you take responsibility for it. The ethics of care teaches us that owning fewer things lets us give each one the attention it deserves. A home curated this way stops being a burden and becomes a collection of items you know, use, and protect. Choose one small space in your home. Take everything out and place it on a table. Now, pick up each item and ask yourself 3 simple questions. Have I used this in the last 6 months? Does it actually make my life easier? Or do I struggle with it every time I use it? If it's not truly useful, then ask, is it genuinely beautiful? Does it bring a sense of calm or quiet joy when I look at it? And for every item you decide to keep, do one small act of care right away. Clean it, sharpen it, give it a little space to breathe. If you don't feel like taking care of it, that's already your answer. Lesson 2. The truth of materials. William Morris believed that an object's integrity starts with the honesty of its raw materials. To him, using materials that pretend to be something else was a kind of visual lie that weakened the character of a home. This principle was embraced and expanded in Japan through the appreciation of natural textures. The truth of materials means respecting the natural properties of every element. When we choose honest materials, we invite nature into our sanctuary. Unlike synthetic materials, which are made to look brand new forever and then degrade in an ugly way, natural materials have a visible life cycle. They accept the marks of time. A solid wood table might get a scratch, but that scratch blends into the grain, becoming part of its story. Living surrounded by real materials changes how we feel. There's a deep physical difference between holding a plastic mug and a handmade ceramic one. The weight, the temperature, and the texture tell our nervous system something, bringing a sense of security and reality. By getting rid of the artificial, you clear the noise from the room. The house gains a visual unity where colors and textures harmonize naturally because they come from the same source. This lesson invites us to invest in what's authentic, durable, and has its own language, free from gimmicks. Walk through your home and look at the materials of the objects you use every day. Classify them by material, natural or synthetic. Pay attention to how each one changes with use. Think about where each object came from. Was it bought in a large store or made by someone's hands? Notice how long it has been part of your life and how it feels when you use it. Compare 2 objects you use often. Instead of comparing price or durability, notice how your perception shifts when you look at an honest material versus a synthetic one. This is not about saying plastic is bad. It's about learning a language of materials a way to understand objects not as things to accumulate, but as elements that reflect time, history, and your relationship with them. Lesson 3. The object as a companion. Yanagi Soetsu introduced the concept of yo-no-bi, which translates to beauty born from use. In this view, beauty emerges through function, through repeated contact between an object and the person who uses it. A teapot only reaches its full potential when it's pouring liquid. A bamboo broom is only beautiful while it's cleaning the floor. This way of thinking changes how we relate to what we own. Objects become part of daily life instead of symbols to display. Their beauty is quiet and practical. It grows through time, touch, and care. William Morris also argued that everyday tools should be so well made that using them becomes a pleasure. When you find a pen that glides perfectly on paper, or a blanket that's just the right amount of warm, you create a bond of trust with that object, making tasks feel effortless and increasing the satisfaction in small rituals. This way of living creates a quiet kind of wealth. Instead of wanting what's new and high-tech, you start valuing what's familiar and reliable. Objects that stay with us for years gain a soul that disposable products will never have. By picking your home companions based on the useful or beautiful rule, you ensure that every daily interaction is a positive one. Your home turns into a support system where every item helps create a slower, intentional, and meaningful rhythm of life. The useful or beautiful rule is, at its heart, an invitation to freedom. By adopting this filter, you give yourself permission to let go of the guilt of tossing what doesn't serve you and the anxiety of hoarding what doesn't delight you. True wealth isn't about how much stuff you can manage, but the quality of the space you create for yourself. When you remove the noise of what's useless or ugly, what's left is the silence you need to focus on what actually matters.